brothers missed out because they didn't keep their grades up, so they put them to work on the farm. They come to going on this nice little trip with the rest of the graduates to the lake. Dad said, no, he said, you can replant the corn the crows dug up on us. That's where I spent my class trip, was out in the cornfield. So just maybe that's why I didn't remain a farmer. That's my first chance that I had to get away and went to work for Mr. Woolworth in Detroit, Michigan. And I was an apprentice there for 4 years and became a store manager. Ran one of their stores for 25 years, ended up in Lexington, Kentucky. And a family of 7 children. I was 45 years old and I was comfortable working for a big company. I didn't like being what you call a yes man. I like to be independent. Came to the town of Chesaning in 1959 and bought an old dilapidated dime store here and built a nice new one. And the last almost 30 years of my life have been very, very wonderful years. Years that I was permitted to grow the way I wanted to grow. And I never want to leave Chesaning. Chesaning is my hometown.
I think because time's getting short, for your sake, class, I would go with, okay, Mr. Mann, you mentioned about the prom. Where was that prom?
It was held in the high school gym. And we spent probably 2 weeks preparing for it and gobbling it all up with crepe paper. That was the only thing we had in those days. We've got other things that are a little more artistic than what we had then. But we had what we call subdued lighting and live music for the prom. In fact, there wasn't such a thing as canned music then to any great degree. Even what canned music you had, if they didn't have the amplifiers, that would be good enough, to serve for a prom. So we had live music. I forget who played for us long ago. You remember that?
I wouldn't remember mine. How, about games, the football games? You were on the football team.
Yeah.
Were there cheerleaders? How did you travel to games that were away?
Well, see, we hadn't reached that point where there was such a thing as a bus system. We rode in cars. I remember when I was in the parochial school in 9th and 10th grade, we got to go to all the games too. And the way we got in free was that the coach told us to tell them that we had some kind of sores on our body. What would it be? Lice or something, I don't think it was lice, but it was. Well, we had the itch. That's what it was. We had the itch. That was great back in those days. Everyone had the itch. They called it 7-year itch. There was two reasons. One was that you didn't shower every day like these kids do, because there wasn't facilities to shower every day. And the other one was that we wore long underwear, which didn't allow the skin to breathe as freely and fresh as you do today wearing short underwear. So that's how we got into the games free. Us guys that weren't in uniform, because we weren't really on the team yet. We were from another school. That's how we got into all the games. As I say, we drove in cars. We had cheerleaders, if I recall. I'm quite sure we did. I'm not positive now. It just seemed that we did have, but I'm not real sure. I know we did in basketball, but I'm not real sure whether we did in football or not. My head was down on the line. I never knew anything about football until after I got out of high school. All I knew was to hit that line and tackle. Other than that, it didn't know too much. I learned the art of football after I graduated and observed some football on TV.
You mentioned a couple of times that it was a big deal to walk a girl home after you did what you might call courting at the
Yeah.
ice rink.
Mhm.
Was a kiss in order once you walked him home, or was that?
I don't know, might have been with some of them, I was too bashful. Honest. My face would turn so red. Uh, In fact, they used to say, "Hey, Bob, blush," and I would blush so bad, I think I'm doing it right now. But my face had just turned as red as a beet. And my hair was almost tow white. So, and size 8 head. I wasn't much of a candidate for any girl to look at twice.
Okay. One of the things that I asked Mr. Manning this morning, he told a little bit about the yearbook. And then I asked more at the end of the interview. He didn't mention it, so I'm going to ask it now so you can hear. And then something that you might do in your interviews, after the interview is all over, he does mention that he still has the yearbook. You might ask to see it, and you could then tape record any of his reminiscence while he looked at the yearbook, or take notes, okay? But I'm going to just ask him now so you can hear about the yearbook. What was your yearbook like?
Well, see, today you have this nice 100-page glossy yearbook that you've got a bunch of advertisers to pitch in and pay for, and you have a teacher assigned to that job. It's really a wonderful keepsake. We didn't have any money appropriated for yearbooks, so we did have a very resourceful French teacher who was acquainted with yearbooks and working in another school. And I recall one of the things that she had one of the students make, she had him make a tripod with a stick on it about the same size as that flag there. She put a pencil on one end of the stick, and you had the student stand up against the wall with a blank piece of paper, and you took that stick and you outlined the head around like so, and then they reduced it somehow in size. I forget how that was done. But all these silhouettes were in the yearbook instead of your picture. And my big head, you could really tell who the heck Bob Manning was, all right. No trouble there. Wasn't no pint size. You could tell those that had a big nose and those that had a big chin. And then you had your class history and your class prophecy, and all those things. I've got it at home somewhere. In fact, I went home, I went looking for it. I didn't find it, but I know it's upstairs someplace.
How was that put together?
It was put together with nothing but a shoestring, a regular folder like you have on your desk. There were 2 holes punched in it, and a shoestring strung around it and tied, and that's what held the papers in. It was just a punched loosely notebook, really, put into a folder. They didn't have clasps then, even the folders that you could, like you have today, that you can do a neat job.
Any questions from any of you? Now, I had prepared my questions ahead of time, as you will. It's kind of putting you on the spot to ask you to ask questions. But again, Bob, I appreciate it. You gave us lots of interesting ideas.
They all would be that I thank you for this opportunity to come here today. I don't think one ever wants to get old. One wants to stay as young as those that are around you. And the only way you can stay young is to participate in something like that. If I haven't bored you too much, I thank you for letting me come here to express some of my thoughts and what I say about what school was like back in 1932.
Thank you.